Hello Pisces, happy Saturday. Since most people don't watch on Saturdays, I am doing something different today. Trying out a new deck. This is Tarot of Light and Shadow. So we have the King of Serpents. This is a kind of interesting deck. Oops, I skipped past it. In terms of its interpretations, it's not the same as most other interpretations I would make. So the King of Serpents, strong, powerful ally who may represent both an actual advisor and the inner strength to make wise decisions and to transform your situation through your own wisdom. He knows how to bring the energy of the serpents to work with whatever he needs them to work with. So this is talking about physical wealth and the Eight of Cups. So the Eight of Cups, let's see, this is talking about undertaking a new role in the workplace, a new relationship that you're uncertain about. There may even be a sense of disappointment or feeling, you may be feeling drawn to a certain path. Feelings of timidity may overwhelm you, but hold firm and you may hear good news. So you can still make progress in this relationship or in this new job at your workplace. Really pay attention to any advice you're being given and keep persevering. Then let's go to Two of Wands and Knight of Wands. So the Two of Wands in this deck, it talks about someplace negative interpretation on this card, but it can also stand for the rising of new possibilities. It may suggest a quarrelsome, angry person who tends to clash with those in authority. It may also be someone in a position of power, but above all, it represents partnership, planning, and getting properly started. Ooh, this is interesting in regards to your work. Now, the Knight of Wands in this deck is interpreted as all about action, an enthusiast who gets passionately caught up in whatever he does. He also likes to do things publicly and may bring a degree of notoriety in his wake. If you follow his lead, you can extend your vision further than you can imagine. But he is also capable of becoming careless and risky in his behavior. His strength is great, but often accompanied with a wildness that makes him seem out of control. There are times when you need a more restrained character to guide you. Yeah. So if you're looking to take action in your job, and there's somebody who is angry, who's creating issues for you at work, who's in a position of power, who's careless. Let's go to the next clarifier for this Two of Wands. It's Judgment. This looks like a pterodactyl or a phoenix reborn to me. Okay, it is supposed to be a phoenix in this deck. Specifically, Ooh, it's got some Egyptian in it. The Atan of Akhenaten. Akhenaten. Oh, that's only in the light version. It's missing in the shadow version. Okay, so when you focus on this card, you may think you see a plain and simple change of approach to the way you view a situation, or a far more earth-shattering call to change the direction of your entire life. But the reality is far more subtle. This card often appears at a time when you may be at a crossroads in your life and need to make the appropriate decision as to which path to take based on your own judgment. The imagery of the phoenix offers both the gift of certainty and the equally important gift of separation, not from the dear things of life, but rather the old and the negative roads we may have followed. In both worlds, it asks us to face change, to ask the burning questions in order to be restored. Yeah, so you might need to you might need to find a new job, is what this is saying, or you might need to find a new path in your job that gets you away from this negative situation and this negative person. Now we have 10 of Wands and the Devil, and 7 of Serpents. Okay, so the Devil, I got this for one of the other readings already. It represents either the reader or someone close to them, someone who is self-serving, who will do anything to get their way, to rise to the top, to be king of the mountain, to seem important. And then it also goes on to say how the devil can, how you can be in bondage to your desires, and how the devil can talk about fear and self-love, like somebody who is unable to properly relate and empathize with other people. Then we have 10 of Wands. This is such an interesting deck. There is a double edge to this card. On the one hand, it refers to the carrying of burdens, to treachery, to people bearing false witness against you and the resulting injustice. On the other, it implies that if you can weather these storms, you will reap the harvest and attain great rewards. You will get rid of these old wounds, these old attitudes that are no longer helpful to you. The 7 of Serpents was the first clarifier. So you're probably an excellent and diligent scholar. If you are an employer, you are much concerned with the welfare of your workers. I would say that you're not an employer based on this situation. And the other cards that we've looked at, I would say that this is more talking about you being prepared to. It says there is a possibility of conflict between two people or conflict within you. The greatest gifts may need caution and consideration, even when they come from such an essential source. It goes on to say that it has to do with purging yourself of clutter, or also because 7s have dual meanings, it talks about you may also gain wealth and be thinking about allowing yourself large purchases to expand your life, like a car and a house. To me, this is more about needing to have things slow down, needing to get rid of that clutter. And the clutter could be somebody who's not working out for you, somebody who has this attitude, or a job that isn't working for you. And specifically, I asked about the devil energy. I asked from both decks. Only the shadow deck wanted to give me anything on it. So we have Death, the Empress, and the Moon. So Death, this talks about change of the positive kind, leaving behind the old, stale, worn-out ways, changing your job, school, or relationship, always moving towards a positive outcome. It can also mean disillusionment and awakening to the recognition that one's life needs to change. There's an aspect of Death in which he is welcomed as an old friend whose scythe or spear cuts away no longer needed baggage and sweeps the path clear of dead wood. So really looking at where you can transform the Empress and the Moon. Let's see, the Empress and the Shadow. Wait, that's the Emperor. The Empress in the shadow world becomes more enigmatic, her strength more challenging. She can overwhelm us with smothering love or signify a reliance on passion and emotion without consideration. Ooh, so that's continuing to talk about what the devil was talking about. There is mysterious advice. She could represent a strong female companion, wife, sister, daughter, friend who has earthly qualities that lend themselves in support, but who can also overbalance, like smothering and encouraging reckless behavior. So this could be, your boss, or it could be a coworker too, if you're trying to get out of this situation. Because these were the clarifiers I asked for specifically for the devil. And the Moon in the shadow, this is talking about unexpected influences, getting moments of illumination, sometimes in your dreams. It is easy to get caught up in a whirlwind of extraordinary events, forgetting that ordinary life goes hand in hand with the miraculous. The questions and answers of the Sphinx, the guardianship of the Ayamasu should be remembered. The questions of the Sphinx. Oh, I forget what questions the Sphinx asked. I think one of them was, what am I? They would give a description and ask, what am I? Or they would give the Sphinx would give a description and ask, who am I? So you might be asking yourself who you are or what you are in regards to the situation, or who this devil is in your life, who this represents or what this represents in your life in regards to your job and any sort of repeating patterns that are negative patterns in your life. And why are you repeating them? Why are you continuing to go through these cycles? Why are you continuing to allow, if the question is, who am I? Then okay, say you had an issue with somebody in your childhood who didn't treat you right, and you stayed in the situation either because you didn't have an option, or because you were a child, or because you felt that, if you did stuff just right, if you were just perfect enough, or something like that, that eventually that person would recognize you and love you and treat you the way you should be treated, right? So when you're an adult, you can repeat those patterns without necessarily recognizing it. So if the Sphinx is asking you who this person is that you're repeating this pattern with over and over again, you might have to further unpack the situation at work and recognize that this could be a pattern you've been repeating for a very long time. Recognize that, this person at work whose approval you're trying to get, or this person whose love that you're trying to get through continuing to work hard, you're trying to get their attention, that sort of thing, they're not going to give it to you. You're just repeating the pattern from the past. I hope that made a little bit of sense. You have to deal with the pattern in order to get out of the situation. It's a lesson that will keep repeating itself with different jobs and different people until you recognize the pattern and until you find your way out of it. So if the Sphinx is asking you who or what it is, then this is something you need to look at on a deeper level. Why are you staying in a job or in a place where you are being treated poorly? Who are you trying to please? Or, what are you trying to accomplish with this cycle? It has to end at some point. The Death card is telling you transformation needs to happen. The Moon card is telling you you're going to find your path. And something in this cycle is going to be illuminated for you. You're going to get clarity on it. You're going to purge those old thoughts and transform. Have a great Saturday. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.